mind is the source of your income, if your mind is a primary source of your income, if you want to increase your income, don't focus on your job, don't focus on your career, don't focus on your business, focus on your mind, the source of your income. Because as your mind grows, your income will grow. As your mind increases in value, so also with your income, so also with your business, so also with your career will also increase. If this is your first time of joining my channel, right? My name is Dan Arobasa. I'm a life after school coach. I'm a quantum leap enabler. I'm a value market strategist. I'm a goals achievers expert, and above all, I am an XME certified master fundraiser with over 10 years experience across the board. So welcome to this channel. And on this series, I'm going to be showing you, if you earn less than 100,000 anywhere across Africa, right? I'm going to be showing you how you can still retire rich, leveraging the power of your income, no matter how small it is. On this channel, that's all we focus on, showing you average income earners across Africa, how they can engage their incomes, right, to create a wealthy retirement within the shortest time possible. So this is part 2 of this series. If you've not seen part 1, please do well to go see part 1. So in part 1, let's talk about the seed capital, the concept of seed capital. I will point out the fact that your capital, no matter how small it is right now, your income, whether it's 30,000, whether it's 2,000, whether it's 30,000 or 20,000 or 50K or 70, 90, or it's below 100,000, no matter how small it is, you consider it as a seed. This is the first thing you must do. Consider it as a seed. And in part 1, we look at the fact that all seeds have 3 characteristics. And all seeds are naturally wired by the intrinsic ability to multiply themselves into multiple states of existence, just like their original selves. So if your income is, let's say, 50,000 and you earn on a monthly basis, within that 50,000, there is a capacity, if you know what to do with it, for it to multiply itself into 2, that's 100,000, multiply it into 3, that's 150,000, multiply it into 4, that's 200,000, and they keep multiplying. If you consider your income as a seed, all seeds are naturally wired with the intrinsic ability to multiply themselves into multiple states of existence, just like the natural selves. So this is the semen of a man passed into the woman. That's just a semen. Inside the semen is everything that the semen is going to need to become a full-grown man. So it multiplies itself into several places of existence. Number 2 characteristics that all seeds have in common, that all seeds has within themselves the innate value content of their source, and therefore has everything within themselves to become exactly like their source. So an elephant so large, so big, weighing between 7,000 to 10,000 kg, and the calf of an elephant, when it's born, doesn't look anything big, just weighing about 90 kg or so, but contained within that seed of an elephant, the elephant calf, is the ability to grow into the full size of its source. So in part 1, we explain several things, and the fact that your income is a capital and should consider as a seed that can multiply itself into several states of existence. Number 3 thing we also said about the seed is that all seeds require time and suitable environment for the fullness of their potentials to be fully maximized. All seeds has this, including your own income. 30K, 40K, 50K, 60K, 70K, 80K, 90K, 100,000. It has within themselves. You give it time, you know what to do with it, right? Give it time, and then given it the right environment, it can reproduce itself into several places of existence. So in this part 2 of this series, we're going to be looking at the principle of life support as it relates to our primary source of income as humans. So what is your primary source of income? Now, before we dive right into this, don't forget that in this channel, How to Retire Rich in Africa, in every video I share practical strategies that the average income earner anywhere across the African continent can literally engage to transform their lives financially within the shortest time possible. There are videos across this channel, so it doesn't matter how much your income is right now, what you can do with it to change your life is available. Videos, several videos, just search for them and begin to watch. If you're watching this on your phone, it will be good that you put your phone on a landscape, just as you see on your screen, to make it effective for you to see what we are doing. So in this channel, we are invested so much into the power of our savings. You have to commit yourself to saving a percentage of your income. I will normally recommend 20% of our income. Right? It's interesting to know that Davido of all places, the 30 billion gang chief CEO, right, said some time ago that every time he sees Dangote, the only thing that Dangote always tell him is save your money. There is nothing more that he tells him. It's amazing. One would have thought that probably Dangote would tell Davido, invest in this, invest in that. But the one thing that he tells him is that you should save your money. And there are several videos on this channel that as you begin to build your habit of savings, where you can put your money, there are videos on this channel that sheds a light on all that. So if you're an African and you're in Nigeria in particular, who live either outside or within Africa and they can afford to save 200 naira, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 naira or more on a daily or monthly basis, then subscribe to this channel, because every content on this channel is always mind-blowing, down to the details, and you have all the actionable points that you can execute immediately. So if you're saving 200 naira daily, that is 6,000 on a monthly basis. And 72,000 naira on a yearly basis. If you're saving 500 daily, that is 15,000 monthly, and 180,000 on a yearly basis. If you're doing 1,000 daily, that is 30,000 monthly and 360,000 on a monthly basis. And let me say this, it doesn't matter the continent you're watching us from, all you have to do is to convert our Nigerian naira into your country's currency, and you have a range of what you're talking about, your daily savings or monthly savings or yearly savings. If you are doing 2,000 naira daily, that is 60,000 naira monthly and 720,000 on a yearly basis. If you are doing 3,000 daily, that is 90,000 monthly and 1,080,000 on a yearly basis. If you are doing 5,000 daily, that is 150,000 naira on a monthly and 1.8 million on a daily basis. And there are videos on this channel that deals with all the details that you need to how you can engage your savings to change your life as an average income earner anywhere across the country. So today in part 2, we are dealing with the principle of life support as it relates to our primary source of income. So the question is to begin with, because we have to answer that as humans, what really is our primary source of income? What really is our primary source of income? And to help you understand this, I first need to take you on a journey, just a brief journey, and then we'll round up with the principle of life support as it relates to our primary source of income as humans. So one of the things that probably you have not noticed is that a horse, for instance, have not become domesticated, right? That it lives within us, in our compound, in our barns, in our yards, right, in our streets, right, in our countries. But one thing that might not have occurred to you before now is the fact that horses are wild animals. Wild, not because they eat they're carnivorous animals, but because they live in the wild. Some centuries ago, horses were not home animals as we have them today. Until they were tamed, they became domesticated, and at the end, they began to use them for different purposes. Train them because for different purposes. For some of them, for transportation, for plowing our fields, for farming. Years back, for carrying our loads from one point A to point B. And as the journey moved on, we moved from there, instead of using them for war, instead of using horses to fight battles, right? So from wild, we brought them home, we began to domesticate them, started using them for home chores. That's transportation. Use them for war. At the point, what happened was that we have to put a carriage behind the horses. So some carriage has 6 horses, like for kings in centuries past. Some 7, some 10, some 12. If you study your Bible and even the Quran, you see some of these graphic pictures there, and the horses and the chariots thereof. right? So we put the horses before the cart that pulls the carriage together with it. And what happened was that over time, people began to think and begin to engage their creative mind to think about the possibility of how do we replace the horse with an engine? How do we replace the horse with an engine? That gave birth to what we call the combustion engine. So as it were, for the Ford Model T cars, you will see that there is no difference between the carriage or the cart, as we call it, between the Ford car and the engine. What happened was just to remove the horses and replace it with an engine because of strategic thinking. Today, several years later, we'll have cars that are fully covered with an engine that travel distances using fuel. Now, all of the above means two things: that everything we now have as proof of human development are all byproducts of the capacity of the human mind to think, to dream, to paint pictures of the future, and envisage possibilities that always seems impossible at first. So from taming the horses in the wild, bringing them home, making them domestic animals that we use for several purposes, taking them to war, from forming the carts behind the horses, where we have 6, 5, 10 horses, 12 horses, and replacing the horses with engine, combustion engine, all was made possible by the engagement of the human mind. This is just an example. For instance, today we pull the electricity from out of the sea. The mechanical process of electrical energy generation that is pulled from the sea and supply light into our homes, all is a product of human mind engagement. We drink crude out of the earth. And out of that one substance of crude oil, we get kerosene, we get diesel fuel for jet plane, we get fuel for our cars. We have polymer also from the crude oil. Why? Because of the productive engagement of the human mind. So everything we now know as proof of human development are all byproduct of the capacity of the human mind to think, to dream, to paint pictures of the future, and envisage possibilities that have always seemed to be possible at first. Okay, number two, if you look at that, just from that conversion of the oil, right, into gasoline, producing cars, today the global road haulage market size is to be valued at $471.7 billion by 2025. And it's expected to grow at the compound annual growth rate of 5.5% during the fiscal year. So between now and 2025, it is projected that the transport business, the haulage business of cars manufacturing and all that is going to be worth nothing less than $40.7 billion. This money, as it were, was there in the intangible realm, but the conversion of the human mind were able to bring value out of the earth, like the iron that they use for cars is gotten from the earth. The gasoline that we use to power the car is gotten also from where? From the earth. All products of the productive engagement of the human mind. Also, right now we have aviation. We've moved beyond driving cars into flying planes. You may not know, but first, when they started talking about the invention of the airplane, the assumption was that if God wanted man to fly, he would have given him wings to fly. It was impossible at first until it became possible. Today, the aviation industry supports a $3.5 trillion of the world's gross domestic product, GDP. And it is said that if the aviation were to be a country, it will rank 17 in size by GDP. That equates the GDP of Indonesia and the Netherlands. Just because of the engagement of the human mind, we now pull out in cash value $3.5 trillion because the human mind was engaged. Number two thing that all of the above means is that it doesn't matter the type of job you have today, but that you are going to acquire tomorrow. Everything can be traced to the power of the human mind. Whether you are an engineer, whether you are a doctor, it doesn't matter the job you have right now. Today, some of us are called engineers, architects, doctors, drivers, nurses, pharmacists. We are writers only because the power of the human mind to think. If you are a writer, for instance, What will you have written your thoughts? Easily pass them from one place, from one point to another, from one mind to another. If there was not the engagement of the human mind that converted wood into paper upon which you write. You are a pharmacist. What kind of job will you be doing today if there was not the intellectual engagement that resulted to production of vaccines, of syrups, of drugs out of trees, out of leaves, out of plants around the world? Where would you have been able to say, okay, I'm a pharmacist? So it doesn't matter where you work right now. Where you work right now, it doesn't matter the type of job that you have today or that you will so acquire tomorrow. Everything can be traced to the power of the human mind to take out solutions to practical human problems. Which brings us to what is the principle of life support. It simply states that everything must be sustained by the source out of which they came. Everything in life, everything on the earth must be sustained by the source out of which they came. For instance, if you got into a relationship by telling lies to your partner, to keep that relationship as it were, you must continue to tell lies to keep that relationship. If you got a job by fraud or by sleeping with the boss that is in charge of that organization, to keep it, not because you are competent, but you slept your way into getting that job. What it means is that you must continue to sleep with your boss to keep the job. Why? Because that job, the source of that job is continuous engagement in sex to keep the job, as it were. It applies to everything. If you cheat your way through school, for instance, if you cheat your way to secondary school to get your WAEC, to get your JAMB, and you went to university, to keep that level of result, you must continue to cheat to keep that level of results. If you burn midnight candles to get your result, to get your parallel A's, you burn midnight candles, you read, you study, and you continue to have those A's. To sustain that result, the source of those results is continuous reading, burning midnight candles. To sustain that level of results, you must continue to burn the midnight candles. Why? Because everything must be sustained by the source out of which they came. That is why if you study your Bible, the Bible said that when God wanted to create a plant, He spoke to the earth. Let the earth bring forth grass, bring forth trees with fruits inside of them. So as it were, the earth becomes the source of all plants. So if you pull any plant out of the soil, it dies. Why? Because everything must be sustained by the source out of which they came. Also the same thing with fishes. When God wanted to create fishes, He spoke to the sea. And He said, let the waters bring forth living creatures. And everything that lives in the sea came out of the sea. So as it were, the sea became the source of all living creatures and live inside the sea. So if you separate the fish out of its source, which is water, after some time, it will die in natural death. So as you can see all the way down here right now, what all that means is the fact that everything that we have right now on the earth in terms of development, in terms of progress, from our earth plane to our cars, the job that we have at the moment, they are all products of the productive engagement of the human mind. So as it were, the human mind is the source of all development, is the source of all our income. Doesn't matter the job you have right now, what you do, that job has its source in the human mind. The human mind was able to think out solutions, to create solutions to people's problem, and you were hired to be a part of solving that problem. Pharmacists, because the human mind was able to create drugs out of trees, out of plants. You're an engineer because the human mind was able to create principles, articulate them to create certain kind of results. So you are not an engineer also to become an engineer. You are a doctor because the human mind are able to figure out ways through which several illnesses can be treated. And so as it were, the human mind is a primary source of all our income. Every job you have is a secondary source of your income. The primary source of your income is the human mind, is your mind. The ability to engineer it to create solutions to human problems, that is your mind. So basically, what is the principle of life support? What does it really mean and all that? Don't forget, the principle says that everything must be sustained by the source out of which they came. Everything must be sustained by the source out of which they came. So if your mind is a source of your income, if your mind is a primary source of your income, if you want to increase your income, Don't focus on your job. Don't focus on your career. Don't focus on your business. Focus on your mind, the source of your income. Because as your mind grows, your income will grow. As your mind increases in value, so also with your income, so also with your business, so also with your career will also increase. Don't pursue career, don't pursue money, don't pursue the increase of salary. Pursue the addition of value to your mind. The more valuable your mind becomes, which is the primary source of your income, the more sustainability your income will be, you will have, and the more increase of your income you will end up with at the end of the day. So all these mean three things. One, it means that while our job or business or career is our secondary source of income, our mind is primarily our primary source of income. Your mind is our primary source of income, is your primary source of income. That is why those who have lost their mind cannot keep a job. Those who have lost their mind cannot keep a job. You are not employed to come and spend time in the office. You are employed to come and use your mind to solve problems within the organization so that you can become a value generator. At the end of the 1 month that you work, at the end of the month you work in that place, right, you are paid a monthly salary that you go home with. And don't forget that everything must be sustained by the source out of which they came. So to keep that job, right, your mind must continue to be functional. Your mind must continue to be functional. Number two thing that I mean that mind growth. That in other words, if you want to increase your earning, for instance, 30,000 naira, don't focus on your job or your career or your business. Focus rather on your mind. Improve your mind and your income will increase. Improve your mind and your income will increase. Improve your mind, your career will improve. Improve your mind, your business will improve. Because everything rises and falls on the quality of the thought that are contained in your mind. Everything on the earth must be sustained by the source out of which they came. Number three, also it means is that for as long as we keep improving and growing our mind, our income will grow in direct proportion, because everything must be sustained by the source out of which they came. Don't forget these three basic things. This is part 2 of this series. If you want to retire rich in Africa, you must recognize the fact that your mind is your primary source of income. It doesn't matter what you earn right now. If you focus on your money, growing your mind as your strategy to retire rich anywhere around Africa and within Africa and even beyond, investing in your mind, growing your mind, putting knowledge inside your mind is your number one strategy. Everything else outside of improving your mind, you are just running around the circles. Three things. Our primary source of income is our mind, not our job. Because our job depends on our mind to remain relevant, to continue to produce income. Number two, if you want to increase your income, don't focus on the money, focus on your mind, and your mind will improve, your mind will increase your income over time. Number three, for as long as you keep improving and growing your mind, our income will grow in direct proportion, because everything must be sustained by the source out of which they came. In part 3 of this series, I'm going to be looking at how to strategically change your mind to change your life. Right? We've seen that your mind is the primary source of your income. So if you grow your mind, you grow your life. But how do you do it strategically? How do you strategically change your mind to change your life? I'll look at that in part 3. The video is already available right now on this channel. Don't forget that we are particularly invested in savings. In savings, the percentage of your income should be saved. And there are videos on this channel that will show you what to do with your savings as it grows over time. And one of the things you look at in part 3 and 4 is how to grow your mind by investing in yourself with your savings, with a percentage of your savings. So don't forget, if you're an African and you're in Nigeria in particular who lives outside or within Africa, and you can afford to save 200 naira, 500 naira, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 or more on a daily basis or monthly basis, then subscribe to this channel. Put on a notification bell so that we'll have a new video, right? You can show if YouTube will show the video. So if you are doing 200 naira daily, that is 6,000 monthly, that's 2,000 naira on a yearly basis. If you are doing 500 daily, that is 15,000 monthly and 180,000 on a yearly basis. If you are doing 1,000 daily, that is 30,000 monthly, and 360,000 on the yearly basis. We are doing 2,000 daily, that is 60,000 monthly, and 720,000 on the yearly basis. We are doing 3,000 daily, that is 90,000 monthly, and 1,080,000 on the yearly basis. We are doing 5,000 daily, that is 150,000 monthly, and 1.8 million on the yearly basis. And there are videos on this channel that teaches you how you can use your savings to change your life as an average income earner anywhere across the continent. And to help you accomplish a lot of results, we've created what we call the Global Wealth Creators Community. It's on Facebook. It's a closed Facebook group where we have people from all walks of lives across Africa gathered into that one room where we're going to save money and also teach them what to do with that savings to change their income, to change their life within the space of either 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and 10 years as it were. You will find a link right now on this video in the description channel. Just click on the link to join us on Facebook. Place a request and it will be approved. After you have answered all the questions, it will be reviewed and you'll be able to be part of this amazing community. And also, we have learning resources on our online store. There are online courses, there are ebooks that are made affordable for everyone who want to connect with us with our training materials. There is a link right now in the description section of this video. Just click on it to take you directly to our online store where you'll find a lot of amazing resources, both free and paid. Download them and you have a nice time connecting with us. I, myself, and my team. Don't forget in part 3, right? The video right now is somewhere in this channel. We are looking at how to strategically change your mind to change your life. My name again is Dan Arubasa. I'm a life after school coach. I'm a quantum leap enabler. I'm a value market strategist. I'm a goal certified expert, and above all, I am an XME certified master fundraiser with over 10 years experience across both. See you in another video. Bye for now.